A lot of people out there put great goals in place, right? We're going to achieve this much in sales or in revenue. Those aren't goals, really. I think that those are merely sometimes wishful thinking. There's no clear plan to put those in place. What we want instead are standards. This is where we're going. Here's the plan, and here's why. This is our standard. Standards get done. Goals rarely do. Hey folks, I'm Colin Richards, and I'm excited to be with you on yet another episode of Lord and Richards. And I'm privileged to work with a fantastic team of people who are helping people in every walk of life, especially those who are looking forward to stepping away from their job one day. And that really divides into two groups, folks who work for others and folks who work for themselves as the owner of a business. And we're helping folks from both of those groups every single day. In the last few episodes, I've really been dedicating a lot of time, particularly to young business owners, about how to begin to develop a plan for financial independence as a business owner. These more advanced concepts, once we get past learning to pay ourselves, now we get our business to the point where instead of running us, you run the business, where the business works for you instead of the other way around. And developing the mindset of a CEO, of an owner, of a leader, of an investor in your business. And so today we're going to be talking once again about this big subject, and I'm going to dial in on just one area. How do we, now that we want to put on that hat as owner and CEO or investor, how do we optimize that business as an owner so I can take the next steps and not be bound to my business? So we're going to talk about how to move really from the operator stage to the owner stage and what your priorities should be as a business owner if you want to become financially independent. So one of those key priorities, there's three. There's structure, there's optics, there's leverage. We're going to dial in on one today, and that is optics. Optics are the ability to see, right? An optician helps you with your glasses, the ability to see. Now, don't confuse being a visionary or being able to visualize. That's not what we're talking about. That doesn't mean you can see. For example, a lot of people out there put great goals in place, right, for their business. We're going to achieve this much in sales or in revenue. Those aren't goals, really. I think that those are merely sometimes wishful thinking. There's no clear plan to put those in place. What we want instead are standards. This is where we're going. Here's the plan, and here's why. This is our standard. Standards get done. Goals rarely do. Something about leaders. If you're going to be an owner and you got other employees, people that are following your lead, is that leaders should see more and see before. We've talked about this. John Maxwell said that, and I love that quotation. Leaders see more from their vantage point up on the mountain. They're looking down and they see a greater breadth of what's going on in the business than anybody else. And they see before others, right? They can see that train coming down the tracks towards the danger. And that's what optics means. Here's an idea. What you don't see going on in your business or what you don't see as a threat costs you money. Really, let's just put it at the bottom line. The business needs to generate a profit, right? Unless you're a nonprofit, but it still needs to cover its bills. And what you don't see is costing you money. One of the places you need to be looking for sure is in your accounting, your financial statements. You say, I'm not really good at that. Well, you need to get good at it, at least at a basic level, or train your accountant, if they're the ones doing it, to teach you what these things mean, because accounting is the language of business. And from that, we're going to get at least one area that needs to go on our dashboard. Now, there are many other things besides your financials that you need to know. And eventually, we'll talk more about your financials. But for right now, that's an example of the kinds of things you need to see that allow you to foresee, to see more and to see before. So I've given you some great questions before. I want to remind you of the idea that you need to set aside thinking time, not sinking time. And thinking time means getting alone by yourself, asking yourself great questions, and then making sure that you act on the answers that you get, right? Initiate. Here's a great question that goes under the category of optics, what you see. What is the obstacle in the way right now? keeping me from getting from point A to point B? What is that obstacle? It's right there in the way. Here I am. I want to get to the land of Oz, as Keith Cunningham likes to say. What is keeping me from getting from A to B, from Kansas to Oz? Once I know this, where this boulder is that's in the way, I can build the machine to get there. Again, Keith Cunningham, my friend and business mentor, says it's the yellow brick road that you're going to build, right? The pathway to success, where point B is. Now, there may be a lot of little point A's and point B's along the way, but you may have a larger point A, B goal in mind, or what we would call a standard. Once you know this, you can build the machine to get there. You say, well, Colin, my business is service. I don't have machines. Well, I'm not talking about physical machines. I'm talking about an intellectual machine, a structure, a plan that helps you move around, over, or through the obstacle. And first, you've got to understand through this thinking process what the real problem is. And then you've got to build the machine for the problem that is, not the problem that isn't. Because so often we assign other things that are really symptoms as the problem, when the real problem underlying, with a little bit more thinking, would become apparent, and we can build the machine to deal with it. Well, we just introduced this topic of optics, but I want you to take the time now to get on the phone and give me a call, because we need to talk about your financial future, how you can achieve financial independence without worry. It just starts with a simple phone call.